In this Psychic Tarot reading, we explore workplace theft, hidden payroll skimming, and complex schemes that could involve multiple employees, partners, or family members. This reading is for business owners, managers, and anyone looking to understand the energies behind financial deception, employee collusion, and uncovering secrets. We'll cover investigative tips, psychological motives, and what to watch for to protect your business. All right, guys, this is going to be a tarot reading for a business owner. This could also be for you if you work at a business and there is some evidence or indication of theft. That's been sitting with me so much today. I really don't know why, because I wasn't playing Mac the Knife on the piano. Usually that is where I start to channel business weirdness and theft. So let's see. What do we want to use? Okay. Give me a second. Okay. So Hanson Roberts. I'm going to use the deck that has multiples in it because I want to see what it is that, if we get anything that's multiple. But this is about theft. This is about somebody stealing on the job. It could be your job. Like I want to grab money. I feel like I want to grab money. I'm grabbing money. Why am I grabbing money? Because Knight of Pentacles. Because Knight of Pentacles. That's why. All right. Whoa. Sorry about that. Let me get this out of the way. All right, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, let's help this business owner, or maybe help you if you are in a business, or if you work. I mean, you could work at Dairy Queen and you're like, man, I don't take money from businesses, and I don't know, were you blamed for this? Because this is deep. All right. I'm going to see what we get. Too many. Too many. All right. We're going to take it. Okay, so we have the devil. Okay, so the devil. I'm not sure what, because this is kind of obvious. The devil is about temptation. It's about rationalization, greed. It's secret alliances. This is about alliances. This is more than one person involved here. So this could be about like, employees justifying theft, the misuse of company resources. Okay, so alliances justifying the debt. Could be a water sign in the reverse. I wasn't thinking when I did that. That would be somebody emotionally manipulative. Okay, so the devil. Okay, let's talk about the devil, because I'm going to start channeling. I'm seeing people, okay. I don't want to have to see them because I'm just the messenger, okay? So with the devil appearing here, this shows temptation, greed. This is that rationalization. Someone involved felt justified in taking what wasn't theirs. Okay, so, because why would you? How do you justify that? It's not yours. Just don't take it. If you don't take it, then you don't have to rationalize it, right? So Let's get that clear. If a business is paying you, make your money. If you're lucky enough to, work in a restaurant or in a facility where tips are involved, well, then you can get tips. Okay. But, somebody was justifying this. I'm not sure what made them. How do you okay, so I shouldn't let myself get involved with this, because then if I do, let's just take it right off the top. 7 of Swords, of course. Okay, so gosh, this is going to be straightforward, isn't it? Isn't it? No, it's not. Excuse me. Okay, so that 7 of Swords is confirming it. So that would be like stealth, sneaky behavior, and possibly multiple employees colluding. Are we going to have to? Yeah, we're going to have to. Huh? Okay, you have the right to. I have to, because some people, like, if I could find evidence on this, I would take action. That sets the precedent. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to an attorney for advice before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering at any time. For the feds, it's about the same thing. You say about the same thing. What do you think? You think it's different? You think it's different? You have to advise them of their rights. Oh, yes, could be a married couple that's involved in this or was involved in this. Oh, shit. Okay, seems like they're taking a break from this. They're taking a rest from this. They've stopped doing this. Because you get caught one way or another. Sorry to make that noise there. Give me a second here, because this is stupid. I'm just, I have clean hands. I want my hands clean. I don't steal from jobs, haven't stolen from any jobs, although one job essentially stole from me. Okay. Still waiting to see if they make it right. Make it right, folks. Make it right. Okay. Because I don't think that the new owners, I don't think the new owners, really know what was going on. I don't know. I've kind of, I don't know. I don't know what business I'm talking about. Are we a Dairy Queen? Are you a franchise owner? Do you own a franchise? Okay. I'm not even led to really look. I'm going to shuffle them because, well, hell yeah, there she is again. So we've got, doesn't have to be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, doesn't have to be a blonde, but definitely somebody who has a drinking problem, and maybe her counterpart is younger or a fire sign. Maybe somebody lives in the desert. Maybe somebody goes to the ocean. They're in the desert and they're in the ocean. I don't know. Because the Knight of Wands could also just indicate the actions being taken were a bit hasty, but that knight was looking in the other direction. Maybe this is a husband and wife, and the husband didn't really know what the wife was doing. I mean, you better know what's going on in your house. How are you affording all that shit? Like, if suddenly you've got, an extensive wardrobe and, whoa, shit, it fell. 2 of them fell. And, Manolo Blahniks, I'd be like, honey, where'd we get the money? Because we got no money, all right? You have no money, and then suddenly you have money? All right. Okay, so with the 2 of Pentacles, that's juggling, isn't it? Well, 10 of Pentacles, because it leads to somebody purchasing a family home, okay? Maybe somebody bought another business and stacked it on top of the business. So I'm seeing that juggling and careful coordination. 2 people or more handling cash, paychecks, bonuses. Is this about bonuses? You're dicks. Okay, so handling bonuses. So the Ace of Pentacles suggests that this started small. This could be, Pentacles are years. This could have been going on for years. But over time, it's grown into a kind of significant financial leak. Okay, so if you're reviewing records now, look for discrepancies in payroll, discrepancies in tips or cash handling, because the easiest way to make money disappear, obviously, is going to be, oh, yeah, there was always a choice in the matter. There was always a choice, but the easiest way is to make cash disappear. My mother always managed dental offices, huge ones, little ones. And then she was the director for Family Health Services Dental Division, and she uncovered fraud. Reported that throb. Somebody's a heartthrob. Somebody's in love with somebody else. I don't know. I get that it's somebody's husband is in love with somebody else. Somebody's husband is in love with somebody else. That's the devil. The devil is in love with somebody else. The devil is the husband. What the fuck? Sorry, my mom's. Okay. I didn't take that hanged man, even though I probably should have, because it would have made me think a little bit about, you're hanging now. You're on the gallows, baby. Don't do stupid criminal shit. Just don't do it. It's easy enough to get a ticket for doing 110 on the highway, or like whatever. Like, I have experience not in getting speeding tickets, but having to deal with paying a ticket okay, so you have experience in just the normal things in life. Aren't you having enough fun? Do you have to add like what could be grand theft, some kind of larceny here? Jeez. Okay, so where are we at? So look into, okay, so what am I thinking? I'm thinking about a married couple. I don't know. Is this your business and your wife is doing something weird? I don't know. Because the Hierophant is also about structure, about rules, spiritual law. Oh, okay. All right. Well, news, it's coming, baby, because there was always a choice. Somebody's going to have to make a choice. Let me get my mouse out of the way. Somebody's got a mouse in their house. I don't know. I'm just saying that because I could. Hi, Mom. I love you. I love you. Okay. Mommy is watching. All right. So let's see. I tell people just like, okay, so Mom, I told the story about you being the dental director and talking to Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, I didn't mention that. All right. Because, the truth is we need to not do this shit. It's not right. Okay, Spirit, I don't want to clarify anything here. There's no clarity here. Somebody's going to need to review, analyze. Somebody's going to need a forensic accountant. I don't know. This reminds me of a client that I had, but I don't know. Is this the same situation? She was going through a divorce. Of course, I can't say the information. I had to coach her through an entire divorce. And it really, in the end, wasn't because she was letting go and, trying to recover money, because money, but it was stolen through a business, through their business. And, I never met the guy, so I only knew the woman, but, eventually she just didn't want to let go. But when it's about money and it's about business and it's your business, well, then, why would you let go? Why should you have to let go? I wouldn't let anything go. All right. Okay. 'Cause the moon. Okay. So the moon, the moon, it warns in this case in theft like this at a business, about a business. I don't know. Is this a freaking hotel? We have the Emperor. Hi, Emperor. Okay, so this is now, we've got the spiritual law, and now we have the law of the land, a community, somebody in the upright. Maybe this is this could be the business owner. This could be local law enforcement as well. And there we go with the Page of Cups. Somebody's getting some sneaky news that they don't like. And we have now the Three of Pentacles underneath. Yeah. Somebody's missing from this equation. Somebody's missing from the equation. They made the wrong choice, right? I don't know. Was somebody let go? Somebody was fired? Somebody was let go. Somebody was fired. 3 people were working together. So I'm going to go with 3. There are 3 people working together that at least had knowledge of one and each other. Very, very shitty. Okay, so, all right. So let's go back to the moon. And there we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. Okay, it could be one or the other. Don't have to, flip and switch the gender roles. Okay, because it really doesn't matter. I don't care. All I care about is that there's thievery. I used to work at a place where I was busting my ass to be the best I could be and show up looking as professional and polished as possible and consistent. I actually had somebody came in and would always, you're consistent. Well, of course, because I was giving it everything. My face, my clothes, my appearance was representing that business. So I didn't care if nobody else didn't care. I was going to do my damn best and not show up in yoga pants and looking like I just got out of bed. You know what I mean? You don't do that. And plus I was working, it wasn't a financial institution, but let's just say you could call it a financial institution because there's tons of money were flowing through that place every day. It used to do really well. I don't know about now, but because I had to leave. That was a place where rumors started about me. I'm like, fuck you. Okay, you started. And then when I found out who actually initiated the rumor, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's over. Enough of the bullying, enough of the lying, enough of the jealousy, enough of the whatever this is. Yeah, I'm overqualified. I never made that a big deal. Okay, I was just having a good time. Yeah, okay. Let's see. I don't know. It's making me think about that business. This isn't that business. I don't know what business this is. I'm like focused on the money. Is this a hotel, motel, Holiday Inn? If your friend starts acting up, then you take her friend. These people are friends. It was a friend group. It was a known group. They were known to each other. The money from the inside, finger pointing, projecting to push blame. Sorry, I'm like cracking my knuckles because I'm thinking. I almost got medical practice, but it isn't. Although there's a medical component to this. Was a medical malpractice connected to this? Or somebody's got a medical issue or medical never mind. Okay, so I think I know where that's going. That has nothing to do with this. Okay. I mean, maybe it does. How do I... Okay, so business owner and or persons responsible for the business here. Audio files or video surveillance may have gaps, or it may have had gaps at that time. Gaps, gap. Why do I have a mechanic? I have a mechanic. Why is the mechanic there? Why is the mechanic there? Why am I in a parking lot? I'm in the parking lot, but I'm a mechanic. Okay, like let's just go back to what the business here. Okay, so there's confusion here. So it's important. This is what I would say. Okay, if I were coaching you through your business troubles, this is what I would say. There's confusion here. So it's important, it depends on how much money this is, but it is. It is money. It's about the money. It's the money. So the business is struggling and they're looking to see where did the money go. The money is slipping through the cracks. It's, I feel like I have to, take a card and there's nothing to see here, card. Okay. So it could be a hotel. It could be a casino. It's cards, card keys. Somebody has the keys. Somebody has the keys to the car. Okay. Maybe somebody bought a car with ill-gotten gains. What the fuck? Sorry, Mom. She knows I just spout the truth, and then there's other words that are gonna, sorry, they're just kind of woven in there. All right. So, okay. So what I would tell you is that you need to rely on forensic accounting and through audits, track money back to the source. I would say this. I would say review every paycheck and don't assume that old employees are innocent because I'm not getting that. All right. So let's see. What else would we tell you? Yeah, definitely. I'd have cameras everywhere that it's legal and doesn't make people uncomfortable. But, this guy's uncomfortable. People are getting bad news here, and it could be that the old news becomes the bad news. I'm not sure. Okay. So where are we at? Because I don't have any attorneys here yet. But we do have justice. Justice will be had for the business owner, for the emperor. Maybe he's delivering, this kind of news. So justice appears. So that means accountability is coming. What's this? It's spun and it was supposed to be in the reverse. Yeah, it's going to be bad news for the people who made the bad choices. Okay, sorry, man. Don't fucking steal. Everybody makes mistakes, but you don't keep making the mistake over what could be Pentacles course of years. All right. So justice, that can remind us that proper investigation, with that sword, documentation and careful auditing, Emperor, are the key. Okay, and funny, we don't have any repeating cards yet, even though I've taken about a third of that giant deck, and I usually do that for a reason. Like I tell everybody, make sure that you're using at least multiple decks, or, try, even if you don't have multiples of the same deck. Okay, so, whoops, I'm going to drop them too. Somebody may have dropped something, dropped some money. What did you do? Did you do it on camera? Somebody dropped something, but somebody who was supposed to be watching didn't watch, or was complicit in this, clarifying the justice. Okay, so let's just put it over here because that's more documentation. That's the watching, wasn't watching. The Page of Swords key. Page of Swords indicates that investigation is definitely needed. So reviewing video, physical keys, digital access, employee activity logs. I would be looking for irregularities in anything that doesn't match with company records. I'm telling you, you don't have to be a business coach. You don't have to be, I'm not a forensic accountant. Okay. I've just worked with a lot of attorneys and law enforcement. Okay. So I love law enforcement. Don't you be hating my cops, okay? Because I love the cops. Most of them are great, okay? I would cook for them. I love them. One particular, I'm not going to say the location because it's not where I live now, but let's not give it all away. But that agency, of course, I was cooking, and then some bitch was jealous because I can cook and she couldn't cook. What? Going to make Frito dip all the time? Okay, that doesn't feed these people. I mean, it gives them junk. Feed them good food. They're doing crazy ass work okay, so for the record, we're going to state this again. Law enforcement is not being paid enough. I was not really dating. I mean, he was a much older gentleman, and, this was a long, long time ago. And, is he alive still? Let's not turn it into a reading about him. But, I was going through a terrible protracted divorce, and, he would carry groceries for me, and he used to love, I had him over for dinner with my kids, and he would, I've got a picture of him handcuffing me in my little haunted house and playing with my kids. He had some health issues, so then he was working at, an annex, basically. He always had such health issues, but he was my friend, and not paid enough. And even if other people didn't always like him, he did his time. He did it all for everybody and never say a bad word. Never. Just leave the freaking cops alone. You don't like cops? Well, then don't freaking be shoplifting, stealing from your job, ripping off a business, ripping off an old lady, pissing everybody off, They have enough to do with people going 110 miles an hour down the highway. They really don't care about you if you're not doing anything weird. Okay, Knight of Wands. Did we have that already? No, that was just, I saw it. Okay, all right, because I'm trying to see, nothing here is repeating, so it's just making itself very straightforward. Okay, so looking for irregularities. Look what doesn't match the company records. I'm thinking that there was skimming over payroll checks. And look, I was getting paid at a place and I wasn't even keeping track of. There was only one time that I saw something really freaking crazy. Five of Cups. So these people are in regret. Bet you are. There's the moon repeating itself. There you go. I'm going to put it down here so that we could keep track of it, where I was just like, what the hell? I just worked my ass off because somebody else was having, it wasn't even true what was happening with their health issue. I just worked my freaking ass off and was barely, to show up consistently and looking amazing like I always love to, because I was serving people and making sure that, everybody was happy and that everybody was getting value for money. And I was part of the entertainment and amusement. Smile. Hi, how are you? Having a good time? Yes, of course you are. I made lots of friends. Yeah, they're having a good time. It's not my business what they were doing at the business. It was a decent establishment. I don't know what it's turned into now. Four of Cups in reverse. And there we go. There's that Queen of Pentacles. That Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn again. That's a married woman. The Pentacles, King and Queen usually tend to indicate married people. There's a married couple. I mean, maybe everybody's married. Everybody's freaking weird. Maybe everybody's sleeping with each other. I've heard about that, People just can't, look, go do your disgusting things on your own time and don't. How about go take a bath? Yeah, go take a bath. Okay. So all right, let's see. So now we need to figure out what is the exposure, what happens, because we want this story to end at some point. All right. It's going to be over. I mean, look, if I were these people, I'd be like, I'm going to forensic right up your ass. Okay. And see what it is that happened, because something is going to come to light. And it could be a situation where it may already be in progress. I tend to channel what's happening in the now, unless I tell you that. Okay. So for me, it's a little bit different. All right. What is it that's happening? I'm going to drop cards. Somebody's dropping cards. Somebody's a dealer. Maybe we're in Vegas. Maybe we're a casino. Maybe we're a dealer. Okay. Look, I was glad to not have to end up having to be a dealer, because then there's no freaking escaping. And then the men are just going to leer at you. It's not always like that. I very rarely had anybody disrespect me. It was very rare. Mostly they just wanted to go on a date with me. Well, I'm at work, leave me alone. Okay. I don't want to date. You get old enough to know what you're worth. I'm not saying that those people weren't worth it, but you just know, look, I can't play in your sandbox. Okay. So all right. Okay. It means nothing. Doesn't mean that any of us are any better than the others. We just have to know who we are and what we will and won't accept. In this case, we're going to accept it because that's sudden. Okay. So this could be sudden, but the damage is reversible if action is taken now. Okay. So if action is taken now, multiple people may still be involved, even if some have left. The energy here warns against complacency, so it's time to implement security everywhere. I want to be with you everywhere. Okay, so yeah, you want to be with them everywhere. This isn't about micromanaging, okay? It's not like that. It's about when you have, even if this is a donut shop, somebody has a donut shop. Are you the one with the lollipop cake shop? I don't know. Okay, that doesn't seem to be making any money. I don't know what reading that was in, but I was like, who the fuck? Sorry, Mama. Okay, so Mommy, I love you. Okay, so let's see. Time to implement security. We need cameras. We need access control and proper accounting protocols. I used to work in banking, for those of you that really want to know, a very long time ago. Corporate banking, small business lending, real estate, construction lending. I was not an underwriter. I did most of my work in small business lending a very long time ago. All right, so I know what's supposed to happen. Okay. And I know what's not supposed to happen. Okay, so let's see. Where are we at? What's supposed to happen? What's going to happen to this business? This business needs to implement some fucking protocols. And if you're a small business and a donut shop or a cake shop or like where, woo! Oh my God. Finally. Okay. Yeah, you need to go after these people, prosecute, execute, go right. Well, don't execute them. Okay. And you never tell people that they are under investigation while you investigate them. Because here we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. You know, there are some officials that are corrupt within this. Now, that also could mean that you've got the wrong attorney. You don't have the right counsel. You don't have the right, advisors. You may have some people in upper echelon managerial positions who can't manage shit. Let's just say it. Can you want to say it? Because like what comes around goes around. I'll tell you why. Okay, so because it's, you know, it's cyclical. It's a circle. It's a circle. It's cyclical. Some things is a circle. Something will lead right back to the beginning. And, you know, this is karma, isn't it? You know, when I say karma, yeah, some people are going to be stressed the fuck out. Sorry. Maybe somebody's just in deep regret, you know, and like maybe they can't return. Maybe they're already gone. They can't return to that business. We have this, and yeah, here's me. I'll be your Queen of Swords in the upright. I'm not an air sign. I'm just going to be that for you, okay? So I'm your counsel for the day. I'm not an attorney, okay? I just know a little bit, okay? Just enough to help me know that there's some bullshit happening here. Okay, so what's going to happen next? That's what we need to figure out just in light of, come on, Spirit, you know, in light of what's going on. So, because, okay, let's see. What happened to this money? Where'd it go? Let's play investigator. We're into forensic accounting here. Where'd it go? Okay, because we bought a house, because we bought something big, because we bought another business, because we took the money, invested it in something big, something, and maybe we are so big that we took enough money to get into some, we'll have to do another financial crimes one because I got another story in my head that was a download when I was playing yet another piece of music that has nothing to do with it because it's Radio Gaga. I don't know. Somebody's on the radio. Somebody knows Lady Gaga. I'm not sure. But maybe somebody started their own bank, started their own business entity, you know, invested enough or took money and gave it to their children, bought things for their children, maybe bought a house for somebody's child. What the fuck? I'm sorry, mom. You know, okay, sorry. You know, just because I can't even believe how stupid this is. Anybody want to go to federal prison? Hey, you want to go to federal prison? Huh? You want to go to jail for a long time? You want to like have to sit there and yeah, you'll get a cot and some shitty food. Okay. You want that? It's not fun. You want to live there? That's worse. You're not going to be as famous as Martha Stewart. And she probably had to do weird shit with peanut butter if she was that lucky and it didn't have cockroaches in it. Well, it was federal. So maybe it wasn't that bad. Okay. Somebody's out in the cold. Somebody can't return. They cannot return. So maybe somebody's already been fired. Maybe somebody's already in jail. Maybe somebody already knows that it's coming. Because the five of Pentacles in the upright, it's like you can go right in, can't you? Five of Pentacles in reverse, no, don't come back. And there's two of them. Okay, so, okay. Okay, making me nervous. Like, don't do shit like that, and you won't have to have Nine of Swords over your head. Okay, so we're at 32:48. We need to wrap this up. Okay, we have the Three of Cups in the upright and the Four of Wands in reverse, and we are going to take that handbag. Somebody's handbag, somebody was putting money in their purse, somebody was taking money, hiding it, putting it in their purse. Somebody was friends with somebody, they're not friends anymore. So this situation doesn't have to be friends at all. It could just be a past situation and a business from the past. You know, maybe there were drinks involved. Maybe this is a place where the three witches were commiserating and sharing drinks. I don't know. Did anybody try to poison you? Put something in your drink? That's on camera too, you know. All right, let's see. This place has a lot of cameras. This could be a hotel. This could be a business. This could be a bank. I don't get that this is bank. It's not a credit union either. I was thinking that it could almost be like one of those places. Where do people like am I thinking about an old commercial? Ethnics check cashing. You're somebody special. Yeah. Okay. So no, I'm not getting that. But this could be a venue. This could be a wedding venue. This could be a casino. This could be any number of things. That Four of Wands in reverse. Something's wrong. Something's unstable. It could be reflecting that Ten of Pentacles, that the people that did this kind of weird shit and decided to be weird are now in trouble. Okay. So let's wrap this up. King of Pentacles, there's a business owner who's going to kick your ass. And yeah, we'll take that one too. Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles could be talking about, okay, so let's put these two together. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles. You know, that suggests that someone benefited quietly over time. So what's the lesson here, Spirit? What do we tell the business owner? Or like if you're just a coworker, yeah, everybody has a choice. You may have a choice to speak up and talk about this, maybe start over at a different job. High Priestess in reverse, or somebody's a fake priestess. High Priestess in reverse, somebody's going to be talking. Somebody's going to say, oh, well, I'm talking. I wish I were at your business. I'd tell you exactly what's going on. I don't want to be hired for business consulting if it's going to involve this kind of thing or if it's that nefarious. No, because you could tell me and then I'll tell you who to hire, which person to put into place to do what, when, where, how, and why. Okay. All right. So, okay, business owner, judgment is coming, maybe for the people in the past. Maybe this isn't complete wish fulfillment because there was a problem here with that, that plan, that endeavor, what looked like it was going to be a sure thing, but it can be resurrected. What the Judgment card is about resurrection, it's about judgment. Six of Wands, it's the ability to be victorious. Somebody's name is Victor. Victoria. Okay. What am I getting here? I'm getting something for somebody. Charles, cha-ching, Charles, Chad, cha-ching, cha-cha-cha-ching, cha-cha-cha-ching, money shot. Don't let prostitutes inside your venues, whatever kind of business it is. If you have the ability to get rid of people, don't do that. That is disgusting. Yeah, I knew how to pick them out and say, that one's a prostitute. That one's a prostitute. What do you think this is? That one's sitting over there with the legs. That's a prostitute. Like you do. Well, no, I shouldn't say you can't run them off. Run them the fuck off. Get them the hell out of there. You cannot have that there. If you have a venue and I know that there are prostitutes, you can tell what they are. They don't have to all look like lot lizards. Although from what I saw, most of them look like shit. And it was quite obvious that they were prostitutes. And even if people were covering up for them, what the hell are you doing? Don't tell me, because they're homeless, don't have a job. Well, then, you know what? Go have a cop go drive you over to the next shelter. Ask for help. People that get into that, they do that because they want to, not because they can't. And if somebody says, oh, because they've been on so many drugs that now nobody's going to hire them and they're kind of tainted. Well, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Somebody put them on a bus, or you want to be a good Samaritan? Oh, actually, don't put them in a car with you because then you're associating with them. You don't want to associate with nefarious people because, you have to be able to keep your distance and be careful with it. But let's not get into that. I told you I've got a huge issue with prostitution and none of this belongs at a decent establishment. You cannot have people doing that. You can't have drug dealer employees that are prostitutes. You can't have prostitutes at your business being prostitutes because the rest of the people coming into your business don't want to see that. Okay? In Vegas, they know how to out. They can tell right away who they are. I don't care how scummy you are or how well you look. You put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. You're a prostitute, you're a prostitute. Don't get me animated. I hate that shit. I do not respect it. I do not respect it. There is nothing respectable in selling yourself for money. There's nothing respectable about marrying for money. I mean, to put it that way, but if you're a prostitute like the kind I'm used to seeing, nobody's going to marry you anyway. As soon as they find out that you're prostitutes, you're riddled with diseases. That's why your skin's all fucked up. That's why you're sick. That's why you look the way you do. You're just sick. You're a drug addict and a prostitute. Look, okay, mom, there we go. My mom knows how I feel about that. So what's the takeaway here? Let's get out of this energy because it's very frustrating for me. Look, I'd be like, call the cops, get the cops. So here's the cops. You're a prostitute. Leave. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. You're a thief. You're out. Everybody out. What do you think I did so well as a private investigator? You want to know why? Because I can freaking read people. I don't have to be a psychic, but it actually helps that I'm a psychic. So this business can make some money. It can move forward. Law enforcement is involved. And look we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Somebody's trying to not go to jail, is in a prison in their mind, or went to jail, is just barely coming out of jail, went to jail. Yeah, work is fucking hard. Okay, so in summary, this is a complex network of theft, collusion. What do we have here? Deception, payroll theft, potentially skimming, payroll skimming, subtle manipulation. That's what's involved, from a psychic perspective, because I'm a psychic. So I'm going to tell you, this is heavy energy. Can you tell? I can feel it, but clarity is possible, because businesses aren't just making money and everybody's driving a Maserati. Okay. There are businesses whose families are attached to them, who are feeding children, who are trying to make it grow so that eventually people can get paid more, so that working conditions could be better. You know what I mean? What do you want me to say? Do you think I like this? I don't think I like this message at all. Why are you in my head? Okay, so for, you gotta, for people that are managers, if you're managing a place like this, review the payroll records, interview current and former employees, audit the assets, secure your property and financial systems, and make sure that every access point is accounted for. Okay, so let's get psychological, shall we? Do you want me to psychoanalyze this for you? I'm going to psychoanalyze it for you. Let's psychoanalyze it. Why not? Yeah, these people are fools. It's easy to say everybody's retarded. Bunch of stupid people doing stupid things because they're stupid. What? Do you want me to sugarcoat it for you? Well, these lovely people make mistakes. Yeah, that's why you keep making mistakes for years and steal from everybody and call it good. No, you're stupid and you're awful. And you need to be taught a lesson so that nobody else, I don't care about you at this point, so that nobody else does it to this business. I don't care if it's a Dairy Queen or a McDonald's. It goes the same way. Highlighting it in terms of psychology. Okay, so these thieves often justify their actions and manipulate others to protect themselves and work in teams. Usually it's in teams. It's not just one. If it's just one, it's small amounts of money that are missing. When it's teams, or even if the left hand and the right hand know what each other are doing, but they have not really done this, and usually you'll see people finger pointing and blaming, it's because everybody's stealing. All right. Karma always catches up, but prevention, awareness, swift action are your tools to protect your business. Is that how you want to hear it? So just remember, these energies, they don't just vanish. They're reflected in systems, in people, and in money. So take control of your business, follow the facts, and stay vigilant. Prosecute everybody you can. Love you guys. Take care.